Welcome to step 7 in our journey to oneness with God and one another. Step 7 is humbly ask God to remove all our shortcomings. And so today we are going to focus on the gift of prayer, of coming to God, asking. I grew up with this picture hanging in our house. And I still have this picture, obviously. And what strikes me about this picture is the sense of humility that you see in this older man. You can just sense, you can feel, you can almost hear the prayer of humility, of saying, I do not deserve this abundant meal, but I humbly thank you, O God. Prayer is all about humility. Life is not about me, but I am about life. And that life is a pure gift. But I receive it as a beggar with no sense of entitlement. It's so easy to use prayer as a kind of control, as a way to control life and even control God. But prayer is not about changing God. It's about changing me. Prayer is more about relationships than it is about results. Oh, certainly God wants us. He commands us to bring all our hopes and our desires and our needs to God. But not from the stance of changing God, but instead for the purpose of handing them over, of giving them up to God. As Richard Rohr says, the goal of prayer is more than just saying a prayer. The goal of prayer is to become a prayer. Martin Luther said it in a different way. He said on his deathbed, we are all beggars. This is true. So prayer is about situating ourselves in the world as beggars. And in step 7, we surrender to God. And then we let God focus and reveal our real faults. And then God takes those faults away, our shortcomings. He removes them. And it's all God's doing because we are merely beggars. And so as beggars, we come to full understanding that prayer is not about achievement. Instead, prayer is organized and planned failure. And I don't know about you, but that's really good news because I fail a lot in my prayer life. We are constantly falling short of our attempts to become closer to God. But paradoxically, that is exactly how we move toward God and toward life. God takes our weakness, God takes our failures, and it is in those weaknesses and failures that we are transformed and embraced in God's love. So when we feel like our prayer life is failing, that's when God is doing God's best work. As beggars, we know that prayer and our relationship to God is not about achievement, but it's instead it's about someone courteously receiving us. So step 7, humbly ask God to remove all my shortcomings. For I am merely a beggar. This is true. God's blessings.